In any given moment, a man's growth is optimized if he leans just beyond his edge, his capacity, his fear. He should not be too lazy, happily stagnating in the zone of security and comfort, nor should he push far beyond his edge, stressing himself unnecessarily, unable to metabolize his experience. He should lean just slightly beyond the edge of fear and discomfort, constantly in everything he does. Once you are honest with yourself about your real edge, it is best to lean just beyond it. Very few men have the guts for this practice. Most men either settle for the easy path or self-agnetize agnetize themselves by taking the extreme hard path. Your insecurity may cause you to doubt yourself, and so you take that easy away. And you take that easy way, not even approaching your real edge or your real gift. Alternatively, your insecurity may lead you to push, push, seeking to become virtuous over your own sense of lack. Both approaches avoid your actual condition in the moment, which is often fear. If you are stressfully avoiding your fear, you cannot relax into the fearless. Your fear is the sharpest definition of yourself. You should know it. You should feel it virtually, constantly. For and fear needs to become your friend so that you are no longer uncomfortable with it. Rather, primary fear shows you that you are at your edge. Staying with fear, staying at your edge allows real transformation to occur. Neither lazy nor aggressive. Playing your edge allows you to perceive the moment with the least amount of distortion. You are willing to be with what it is, rather than trying to escape it by pulling back from it, or trying to escape it by pushing beyond it into some future goal. Fear may lead you to hang back, living a lesser life than you are capable. Fear may lead you to push ahead, living a fast life, off center, tense, and missing the moment. But the capacity to feel this moment, including your fear, without trying to escape it, creates a state of alive and humble, spontaneous, 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 spontaneous. You are ready for the unknown as it unfolds. Since you are not pulled back or pushed forward from the horizon of the moment, you are hanging right over the edge. By leaning just beyond your fear, just challenge your limits compassionately without trying to escape the feelings of fear itself. You step beyond the solid ground of security with the open heart. You stand in the space of unknowingness, raw and awake. Here, the gravity of deep being will attend you to the only place where fear is obsolete, the eternal free fall of home, where you always are. Own your fear and lean just beyond it in every aspect of your life, starting now. Chapter 9, Do It for Love. The way a man penetrates the world should be the same way he penetrates his woman. Not merely for personal gain or pleasure, but to magnify love, openness, and depth. The next time you embrace your woman sexually, feel your ultimate desire, your deepest desire in life. Feel why you are doing anything at all in life, and specifically, why you are uniting with your lover. There may be many lesser reasons. But what is your deepest, ultimate reason? Most men's ultimate reason for doing anything has to do with discovering their deepest truth, enjoying total freedom and love, and giving their fullest gifts. Yet, many settle for enjoying a little bit of freedom and love while incompletely giving their gifts. They enjoy the freedom to buy a nice car, to have loving sex fairly often, and to sleep late on Sunday. They generously donate their spare cash to a good cause, lovingly buy their woman a diamond ring, and happily coach a little league team. Those are enjoyable freedoms and real gifts that make a significant difference in people's life. But for many men, it is still not enough. The freedom or love they have achieved and the way they have given their gifts often leave a sense of incompleteness. Something is still lacking. There is still a desire to go beyond, to entrap themselves, to enjoy life free of a subtle sense of constraint, loneliness, underlying tension, and fear. And for many men, try as they might, the sense remains that their fullest gift remains ungiven. Their life feels somewhat false at its core, as does their sexing. When a man gives his true gift of sex to his woman, he penetrates and blooms her beyond all limits into love. It is the same with the world. To blossom woman and world for real takes authenticity, authentic, authentic, authenticity, persistence, and courage of heart. A man must know the truth at his core and be willing to give his gifts fully, no holding back. He must be willing to dedicate his sex and his life to magnifying love by penetrating women and world with his true gifts. This willingness is rare. Many men are willing to take and to poke their woman and bloom her into a mediocre way, sharing a few orgasms and a few emotional moments of body before going over tomorrow's schedule. Many men are willing to poke the world and bloom it in a mediocre way, making a few bucks and consulting and contributing enough betterment so they don't feel like their life is a total waste. But very few men are willing to do the deed for real, to use everything they've got to liberate their women and the world into the deepest possible truth, love, and openness. Few men are willing to give their deepest genius, their true endowment, the poetry of their very being, with every thrust of sex in life. Most men are limping with doubts and uncertainties, or they hold back their true drive because of fear. So they diddle their woman and the world just enough to extract the pleasure and comfort they need to assuage your nagging sense of falsity and incompleteness. But if you are willing to discover and embrace your truth, lean through your fears and give everything you've got, you could penetrate the world and your woman from the core of your being and bloom them into love without limit. You could ravish your woman so deeply that they surrender breaks your heart into light. You could press yourself into the world with such enduring love that the world opens and receives your deepest gifts. There is no essential difference between entering your woman's feminine heart and entering fully into the world. Both forms of intercourse, sexual and worldly, require sensitivity, spontaneity, and a strong connection to deep truth in order to penetrate chaos and closure in a way that love prevails. Neither woman nor world are predictable. They will often seem to resist your gifts and test your capacity to persist. And just as surely, they will gently respond to the relaxed ministrations, the freedom expressed in your humor, and the vision of your eminent love. They will open in love and receive you fully, only to resist and test you again, moments or days later. Neither woman nor world can be second guessed or fooled. They know when you are just dicking around. They want to receive you for real. There are two ways to deal with women and world without compromising your true gifts or dribbling away from the force of your deep being. One way is to renounce sexual intimacy and worldliness, totally dedicating yourself without distraction or compromise to the path you choose to pursue, free of the seemingly constant demands of women and world. The other way is to up both to smithereens, to ravish them with your love, to give your true gifts despite the constant tussle of women and world, to smell your authentic gifts and the friction of opposition and surrender, to thrust love from the freedom of your deep being, even as your body and mind die blissfully through a crucifixion of invitable pleasure and pain, attraction and repulsion, gain and loss, no gifts left ungiven, no limit to the depth of being, only openness, freedom, and love as the legacy of your intercourse with women and world. If you're going to thrust with women and world at all, better to go all the way and ravish them from the depths of your true core, blooming them open with the wide gifts of your unrelenting heart. Otherwise, if you sheepishly penetrate them to gratify your own needs, your woman in the world will feel your lack of dedication, depth, and truth. Rather than yielding in love to your loving, they will distract you, suck your energy, and draw you into your endless complications so that your life and relationship become an almost constant search for release from constraint. You could be and live alone, apart from women and world. But if you choose a life of sexual and worldly intercourse, you will feel trapped by women and world unless you are free in the midst of true up, yielding yourself into the giving, holding nothing back, dissolving all time in the open of love. Through thick and thin, this is the way of the superior man. Chapter 10. Enjoy your friend's criticism. Man's capacity to receive another man's direct criticism is the measure of his capacity to receive masculine energy. If he doesn't have a good relationship to masculine energy, e.g., his father, he will act like a woman and be hurt or defensive rather than make use of his man's criticism. About once a week, you should sit down with your closest man, friends, and discuss what you are doing in your life and what you are afraid of doing. The conversation should be short and simple. You should state where you are at. Then, your friend should give you a behavioral experiment. Something you could do with it will reveal something to you or grant more freedom in your life. I want to have an affair with Denise, but I don't want to hurt my wife. I'm afraid of her finding out. You might say, you've been talking about Denise now for 6 months. You are wasting your life energy on this fantasy. You should either have sex with her by tomorrow night or drop the whole thing and never talk about it again. Your friends might say challenging or hesitation or, okay, I know I'm not going to do it. I see now that I'm too afraid of ruining my marriage to having an affair with Denise. My marriage is more important than my desire for Denise. I'll drop it and refocus on the priorities of my life. Thanks. Your close friends should be willing to challenge your self by suggesting a concrete action you could perform that will pop you out of your rep, one way or the other. And you must be willing to offer them your brutal honesty. In the same way, if you are all to grow, good friends should not tolerate it on one another. If you are at your edge, your men friends should respect that, but not let you off the hook. They should honor your fears and in love continue to go you beyond them without pushing you. If you merely want support from your men friends without challenge, it bespeaks an always unresolved issue you may have with your father, whether he is alive or dead. The father force is the force of loving challenge and guidance. Without this masculine force in your life, your direction becomes unchecked, and you are liable to meander in the mush of your own agony and indecision. Your close men friends can provide the starlight of love uncompromised by a fearful Mr. Knight's act, by which you can see the direction you really want to go. Choose men friends who themselves are living at their edge, facing their fears and living just beyond them. Men of this kind can love you without protecting you from the necessary confrontation with reality that your life involves. You should be able to trust that those friends will tell you about your life as they see it, offer you a specific action which will shed light on your own position and give you the support necessary to live in the freedom just beyond your edge, which is not always or even usually comfortable. Chapter 11, we're going to stop right there at page 37. If you don't know your purpose, discover it now. So later or tomorrow, that's what we're going to read. Thank y'all for y'all time. This is one of my favorite books. Order it. Excuse me. If you haven't read it, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that. The best is here. We global.